GM, everybody, welcome back to the channel. New all-time highs for Bitcoin yet again. Today is Thursday, the 21st of November, and let's jump straight into it. And we're going to start on the weekly chart for Bitcoin because we are nearing that elusive $100,000 mark on the Bitcoin price. We've been talking for some time now that once we sort of cross this 90K region, which was an area that we thought we might see some consolidation at, we would be targeting around this 102 level, which is our Fibonacci 1.618 retracement from previous cycle high to bear market low. And Bitcoin seems well on its way there. And I would not be surprised if we see 100,000 hit over the next 24 hours. We're literally about a 2% a move away from that price. Bitcoin can do that within minutes. So yes, we're very, very close to that level. If we just go onto the 4-hour chart, obviously what we've been looking at over the last couple of days, really since the start of this week, is Bitcoin putting in these higher lows on the lower time frame and coming out and taking out this sort of 93,500 level, which was the top of our triangle. And obviously we said when this does break out, if we can hold prices above this level, we should start to see acceleration higher. We talked about a new all-time high 2 days ago. We talked about Bitcoin hitting another all-time high yesterday, and of course we did. And today we are powering up. We are continuing this run, and it looks like Bitcoin will indeed get its way to that 100,000 level probably sooner rather than later. And just kind of looking at this here and looking at these levels, I mean, what we kind of see with Bitcoin is when we approach these big levels, we tend to see price either front run those levels. So price will sort of come up maybe to 96, maybe to 97, and then start to find some resistance. And people that are then thinking we're going to hit 100,000 are left with their orders waiting, and they never get filled. And of course, price rolls over without them being able to take profits or get filled on shorts. What we're actually seeing now, and why I don't think this is going to be the case, is we are just seeing continuous Bitcoin strength. There's a continuous bid on Bitcoin, and I'm noticing a lot of people start to fade this move, or not even start to fade this move, have been fading this move from about sort of 85, 90,000. People saying that Bitcoin can just not go higher. People are almost in disbelief. How does Bitcoin keep on going up? Why are my altcoins not going up? Why does Bitcoin keep on going up? I'm not happy. So I think there's a lot of people that are actually feeling this move, but instead of being excited and happy, they're actually disappointed because they're either sidelined or they're underexposed to Bitcoin or they're positioned in the wrong altcoins. And for this reason, there's quite a lot of pain and agony, and a lot of people are now saying, we want to dip, we want to pull back, I need to add capital to Bitcoin, I need to buy more Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just keeps on going away. And then what happens is people then start to chase Bitcoin. So what we're starting to see right now is a lot of capitulation from altcoins into Bitcoin at the worst possible time, because as we've talked about, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see that Bitcoin has come up, and today it has tagged my levels. So I was looking and talking about this 61.65 level as a prior area of support and resistance that we've seen in the past. Obviously, Bitcoin does like to, or markets do like to come back and retest prior areas of support and resistance. We've obviously basically got the order block from the initial breakdown here when Bitcoin dominance really, really came down in 2021. That was obviously the 2021 bull run when alt season really kicked onto gear. And what we're now potentially seeing is some sort of range between sort of the 62% level and down at this, call it 40% level. So you've kind of got this 23% range now on Bitcoin. And what I'm expecting is that Bitcoin does start to form some sort of rejection here. It might even be, if we really, really scale this back, it might even be that Bitcoin is forming what is a sort of longer term sort of triangle pattern, obviously connecting these lows in here, where it's over time going to make gradually higher lows in Bitcoin dominance as Bitcoin continues with its domination of the cryptocurrency space, as Bitcoin starts to show itself as being the preferred store of value, global store of value. It could be that the rest of the cryptocurrencies can just not keep up over the long run. Certainly, that is what we see in the majority of cases. Obviously, there always seems to be exceptions, cycle to cycle, but what we might see is some sort of consolidation now between 62% and in the 40% range. So personally, I'd be looking for Bitcoin dominance to come down and hit this trend line probably late next year. So it might come as low as sort of 41, 42%, not quite coming down to sort of the 30, high 30s, 39s as it did before. And then potentially that's where we look to bottom. So I'm just actually going to draw a little rectangle here so we can kind of see where I'm thinking. And of course, I expect the market to probably sort of finish some point next year, end of next year. So I just want to get the timing of this right. I don't expect it to go on to March or Feb, but potentially the altcoins could run on a little bit longer. I mean, we kind of saw things kind of run on to about December of, sorry, where do we see things run on to? Yeah, around about November. I'm trying to think why late 2022 so low, probably because of stable coins. A lot of people going into stables, not necessarily Bitcoin. So yes, potentially we could see this sort of come down to this box over the next year. That would be my expectation. But just going back to Bitcoin, I mean, this, yeah, just continued strength from Bitcoin. And if we just go on to the daily, we can see we're getting a very nice sort of push up today out of this triangle. So yes, I would not be surprised if we are talking about a 100K Bitcoin price tomorrow. And really, we need to think about what we do from here because potentially, like I say, if Bitcoin is not going to front run this target of 102,000, then potentially we see an overshoot. And if we were to get an overshoot, I think it would maybe be a bit too obvious just to overshoot all the way up to this 155 level. If we go on to the other chart I've got here, we've actually got the Fibonacci's from the summer consolidation period, and potentially 113,000 or 2.618 would then become the target. But I kind of feel like what might happen is we might shoot through 100,000. People start to feel like they're missing out. People start to chase. And then at that point, there's too much froth in the market. We get some sort of consolidation and a pullback, potentially either going into December or yeah, I think this could all happen quite quickly. I still think we'll see a little bit of pullback or consolidation early December, and then maybe we push on until January when I think we might therefore or then get a more deeper pullback in sort of the January sort of time window, as we kind of saw something similar last year. If we just look at Bitcoin from the end of sort of late 2023. Obviously, we made a sort of local high in January. We then got a 20% dip. And I think to myself, look, potentially we might get something similar like a 20% dip on Bitcoin, which I mean, from depending on how high we go, I mean, let's say, for example, we run up to, I don't know, 107, we sort of shoot through by a few thousand, and potentially, that 20% dip kind of comes back down to around about 85. So yeah, that's one potential scenario that I would look at. But obviously, it's hard to kind of call retracements and pullbacks until we've actually put that local high in. But yeah, I wouldn't be expecting Bitcoin to sort of pull too much deeper than 20%. I think, look, what's we're in this phase of the market. Pullbacks tend to be very, very sort of sharp and fast. So just looking at the liquidation heat maps as well, something supporting the view that I think we're going to push on a bit further is the fact that we have more liquidations piling up above price here. So it seems like whoever is shorting this market is either hedging and doesn't mind themselves getting liquidated because they've got very, very long spot bags, or they are not learning from their mistakes. And yeah, they're going to be sort of shorting themselves all the way to sort of the poorhouse if they carry on. So that's Bitcoin. Let's have a quick look at Ethereum as well. So Ethereum started to really pick up right now. Yes, let's look at this on a 4 hour. So yeah, nice sort of break on Ethereum here, getting above the previous high and challenging sort of 3,300. So Ethereum's starting to wake up quite nicely now. I was prepared to sort of say, look, it's still lagging, but this has literally just happened. I think this must have just happened over the last hour. There we go. So big, powerful Ethereum move over the last hour. And is this time that Ethereum will start to make its way and start to catch up a bit on Bitcoin? Like I say, I'm expecting this 3,800 to be the next stop for Ethereum when we take out this high here. And it would be encouraging if we could get to this level by the end of the year. I'm thinking that Ethereum likely outperforms Bitcoin in Q1 of next year, and that's probably when we get a bit more of a run in many of the altcoins. So let's see if Ethereum can continue this strength and push on a bit further here. And obviously, if it can, then that'll be looking good for Ethereum and the altcoins as well. Solana also starting to push up. So we said Solana's facing a bit of resistance at this 1.618. Also, it's on a weekly Tom DeMark 9 candle. So expecting a little bit of consolidation or resistance for Solana here. But look, I mean, this weekly Tom DeMark 9 has not ended yet, has not printed yet. So, if Bitcoin makes its way up to 100,000 with Ethereum starting to move up past sort of 3,300, potentially Solana can get a move on and come up to around about the sort of 268 level and back to its all-time highs. And I think at that point, that's when on the first attempt, we probably see a bit of consolidation on Solana before it takes another leg up. So, things are getting to levels where I'm expecting there to probably be a bit of a consolidation. But for now, things are looking strong. Things are continuing to rise upwards. And speaking of things that are rising up, Pepe is on a decent bounce here, up 9% currently for the day. Obviously, it had hit this daily Tom DeMark 9. Also came into the 1.618 from its sort of summer, I want to say consolidation, but that's more of a summer pullback. And yes, Pepe looking strong. I think at some point if Ethereum starts to go and really sort of take out its previous highs, its highs over the last month, then we could see Pepe do a similar thing. And I think Pepe is one of my top high conviction picks for this cycle. I've talked about it before, that I think Pepe will do very well. So potentially Pepe could really start to run over the next few days if we get this push up in sort of Ethereum especially. And just looking at the dollar quickly, dollar still consolidating, bit of strength yesterday, and yeah, I'm expecting the dollar likely to probably consolidate and try to put in a macro high around these levels. Stock market, S&P starting to push up, so it looks like it's holding this 20-day moving average that we've discussed. And obviously, we talked about saying that I think the stock market will sort of pull through here and start to grind higher into the end of the year. That's what seems to be happening on the S&P and the Nasdaq, looking fairly similar here, holding the 20-day moving average, starting to grind higher, which is obviously all good for crypto with the positive correlations between stocks and Bitcoin. So just coming back to Bitcoin then, and just to recap, we are expecting 28,000 likely to be hit at some point fairly soon. Bitcoin showing really strong momentum. Ethereum starting to wake up. Pepe starting to bounce strong as well. So the altcoins, it might be time for the altcoins to start to wake up very soon. And like I say, just coming back to what is, in my opinion, one of these most important charts, Bitcoin dominance. We've seen it come up into my level. We're starting to see some rejection. I'm not saying this is the top for Bitcoin dominance, but I'm just saying at this point in the cycle, it is likely that the move or the time to really heavily accumulate Bitcoin is probably starting to come to an end. And I would say that the maximum or the best opportunities for the rest of this cycle are going to be in the altcoin sector. I'm going to be coming up with an altcoin video very, very soon. And this will be obviously very, very well timed with Bitcoin seemingly coming into a area of large resistance or Bitcoin dominance coming into an area of large resistance. So please, if you've not done so already and you're enjoying the content, please do hit subscribe so you don't miss out on my altcoin picks. It'll be coming out over the next day, hopefully today if I get the time. So please stay tuned for that one. I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day, everybody, and I will speak to you all very soon. GM.